right, well, good afternoon, everyone. Good to see all of you here today. We've got some cell phones that might need to be turned off, so please check those. I'll check my own here. I think I already did, but... All right, so let's go ahead and begin. This is the January 14th, 2025 Hardin County Fiscal Court regular voting meeting. And let's begin and call this meeting to order. All right, so we can go ahead and start with a roll call, please.
Squire Clem.
Here.
Squire Hicks.
Here.
Squire Muse.
Here.
Squire Pennington.
Here.
Squire Saltzman.
Here.
Squire Thompson.
Here.
Squire Whitehead. Here. Squire Yates.
Here.
Judge Executive Keith Tall.
Here. Next, we'll have our invocation, Magistrate Thompson, and Pledge of Allegiance, Magistrate Hicks.
Would you pray with me? Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you, Father, for seeing us through each day, each moment. Lord, you are in charge. We praise you for that. Father, we thank you that you're present today and that you'll guide our thoughts and our decisions. Help us, Lord, to focus on the business at hand and make the best decisions. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, again, thanks for joining today. Great to see everyone after the big snowstorms and ice storms of 2025 that hopefully are past us and no more storms. Right, Mayor? Okay. So let's review the agenda. We have next, we will approve the minutes from the last meeting back in December. We will have some department and office reports after that. Then we'll have an opportunity for any citizens' concerns or comments for any of the specific agenda items. After that, we do have a consent agenda that we'll go through and talk about that, and then our regular comments and at the end of the meeting. So pretty basic agenda today. I did want to just recognize a few people. After being through the storm last week, I just wanted to, again, show some gratitude and thankfulness for our team here in Hardin County government and all those around that played a part in getting us through that storm. You know, our first responders, of course, they don't have an option. They can't just stay home and stay inside and stay warm in their homes. They come out no matter what the weather and take care of us whenever there are emergencies, medical emergencies, accidents, these types of things that are going on during a storm or when there's not a storm. So I just wanted to say thank you to our EMS department, to 911, and just, you know, and then when you get over to clearing the roads, we've got our road department. And again, they worked very hard. I got to ride with them this time just to kind of get a feel for that. I know several of our magistrates also took time to go and get in a truck and ride around. Just to understand some of the things that they had to deal with, and I think that was Chris and Kenny and Aaron, I believe are did Fred also. So fantastic. So about half were out there and can experience that and know that these guys are working hard out there whenever they're clearing these roads, and the leadership of Dwight Morgan, of course, to make sure that it all happens appropriately. So just a lot of gratitude. You know, I know I started through this and I didn't write it down, so I know I'm missing people. You know, we've got our coroner's office, of course, you know, that still has to function. And, we've got our sheriff's department, just all these different people that are involved in something like this to get us through it. So anyway, I just wanted to publicly say thank you. And I know Fiscal Court, and I know all these folks up here, and are appreciative, and they'll probably have some words to say too when the time comes to say thanks. So anyway, just wanted to make sure that was said, and definitely mean every word of it. So thank you again. In addition to that, even though we might have a little more to say at the next meeting, but we'll be in the consent agenda today, we'll be dealing with a retirement of one of our own, Timmy Carr, sitting right over here. And so it's bittersweet. I know he needs to do this and to retire for personal reasons, but going to be missed. All of his years and years, decades of experience. And so I just wanted to say, again, start the process really of saying thanks to you, Timmy, for all your service to this county. All right, at that, we will move on to the next agenda item. We need to approve the Hardin County Fiscal Court 12/19/2024 minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Squire Clem.
Yes.
Squire Hicks.
Yes.
Squire Muse.
Yes.
Squire Pennington.
Yes.
Squire Saltzman.
Yes.
Squire Thompson.
Yes.
Squire Whitehead.
Yes.
Squire Yates.
Yes.
Judge Executive Keith Tall.
Yes, motion passes. All right, let's go ahead and move on then to, while I'm sitting here thinking, I knew when I was going to go through this, I was going to forget people. Of course, obviously, we had Joey Scott and emergency management that we got to thank, and Richard DeWitt and others in that department, and all the volunteer fire departments. I don't know how I could forget them, all the things that they did during this time. We had our jailer, Josh, had a team out there also removing snow for some of the volunteer fire departments and some of the nonprofits that needed their parking lots cleaned. We had John Bowen out here cleaning these parking lots, and our county attorney's office, doing all of this stuff. So if I think of somebody else at some point, I'll say it, but I think I've covered most everybody now. Sorry about that. Okay, so moving on then to department office reports. Let's start with presentation by planning and Adam King.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, I've got the November and December reports. This will sort of function as our end of the year report. First up, a few items that went before the Planning Commission. So this was a zone change request from Diane and Paul Taylor out at 106 Berrytown Road, near the corner there of Berrytown and Ronnieville Big Springs Road. This was a zone change request from rural residential R2 to urban residential R1. On the map there in the top right, the rural area would be the neon green, the urban area would be the paler shade of green. So you'll notice this parcel was right on the line, and the Taylors were essentially doing this so that they could reconfigure the farm there so that each of the three kids got an equal slice of the pie. So that zone change was approved. Next, an item that went before the Board of Adjustment. So this is Emily and John West out in Sportsman Lake subdivision. This is essentially the first lot in the subdivision once you rounded the curve there of the clubhouse and the pool. And it was actually 7 lots that had been vacant since 1957 when the subdivision was developed. Very odd shaped lot. And even with all 7 lots, it was still just 0.6 of an acre, but they needed a variance request to be too close to the subdivision street there along the side. This request was approved, going to build a nice home there overlooking the lake, and this is actually one of 4 new homes that we have being built in Sportsman Lake subdivision right now. Another item that went before the Board of Adjustment, this is Olive Hill Missionary Baptist Church down on Silver Mine Road in Sonora. They are going to build a new sanctuary, essentially in the footprint of the existing church, but they're going to need to get a little closer. Unique thing here on this property, you'll notice the aerial photo. The fellowship hall and the sanctuary and the parking are all tucked up in that corner, and that's because there is a giant sinkhole there, sort of indicative from the contours on the topography map. So this variance was approved by the board. Looking at land use applications, it was a busy year, pretty much on par with 22 and 23 since the BOSC announcement, but we did 21 conditional use permits, 23 variances, 14 zone changes, and then 14 development plans for non-residential projects. Looking at the number of plats and lots recorded for the year, 125 new plats recorded. That is up from 89 in 23. And then as far as the number of new lots, we did 164 new lots for the year, and that is more than double 2023 when we were at 81. Looking at permits, building permits for the year, we were at 536. That was an increase of 1 from 535 in 23. And then electrical permits, we were at 994. That's down from 2023 when we were at 1,111. That is due to us, Vine Grove took over their own electrical inspection. So that accounts for that reduction. Looking at single-family dwellings, happy to report 137 new single-family dwellings for the year. That is an increase from 2023 when we were at 113 and 112 in 2022. Average square footage under roof reported to our office was 3,281, and it probably won't come as a surprise to anybody, but the average reported construction cost was over $290,000. So price of materials, price of labor, price of land, it's all increased. Looking at the inspections, 1,378 finals. Of course, that includes both building and electrical. But just to illustrate stuff getting started, 343 footing inspections and 433 rough inspections. Lastly, I'd be remiss to not recognize Mr. David Veers, a good, hard-working, honest man. He was our electrical inspector here for over 41 years, served the citizens of Hardin. He also did Meade. He also did LaRue, but a true definition of a public servant. So I just wanted to recognize David. That's all I've got. Happy to answer any questions.
There's no telling how many thousands of homes that Mr. Veers inspected throughout Hardin County.
If you're not in the city of Elizabethtown and your home was built before 2022, David Veers has been in your house and his signature's in your panel box. Yes, sir.
He's definitely a good man.
David was a good man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I didn't realize he had passed away until.
Yeah, 2 days before Christmas.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it. All right, next on the agenda, we were supposed to have a report from engineering, but Mark Absher, our engineer, has been sick, and so we're going to push that off to the next meeting. Our next report is from Road Department, Dwight Morgan.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, I'm going to give you the November and December report for Hardin County Road Department. Our encroachments were up at the end of the year, it looks like we actually we're about double the amount of the money that we had in 2023. Road signs, new. We've replaced several signs that had faded out need to be replaced. We have had our gentleman that takes care of all of our signs, our traffic counters. He's been busy doing some other work here of late. So our daily work activities remain the same. Our detention center continues to provide a couple of inmates on Mondays and Tuesdays. I got a gentleman that takes them around, and they patch potholes. Our mow trimming, we're fortunate to stay out with a crew every day. We've been pretty fortunate not to have any downtime with our piece of equipment. We've been doing a lot of tree trimming, tree removal here of late. That's kind of what we do this time of year when we're not pushing snow. So, roads resurfaced, chip sealed November, December. So we have started utilizing some chip seal. We did 3 different roads. We've got one up there listed. Resurfaced, you can see the roads that were resurfaced for a total cost on the resurfacing $628,000, and the chip seal was $34,000. And if there's not any questions, you got any questions? We'll move on to the next presentation here. I've got kind of an overview for the calendar year, if you will. Any questions before we move on? Well, here we go. All right. There's your tree crew out on, looks like, I'm going to say that's Stovall Road, doing some work on the whole road. We started the year with a bridge replacement on Needham Road, and that was done by a private contractor, $394,000. So he did the superstructure, and then he did some work on the abutments. You can see the center abutment there, he added to it. That's kind of almost the finished product. We had a drainage issue out on Claudia Avenue. We actually had drainage tiles that went between properties, that went across private property, that the tiles had rusted out. They weren't taking water. And you can see by this, the black truck is actually parked out on Claudia Avenue, and you can see how deep the water is here on the back of the bumper. This is the water that eventually flows between the 2 properties into a drainage in the back that had gotten overgrown with vegetation. And this is where we're cleaning the vegetation out. We spent about 3 days cutting trees, hauling trees off, and we reshaped this ditch line. And that's getting pretty close to the finish line. You can see where we rebuilt the ditch. We basically kind of bermed it up on the back side to handle all the water off of this subdivision. So there was originally about 600 feet of pipe, or 700 feet of pipe, I believe. We added some additional pipe. This happens to be on Mr. Stearman, who was kind enough to allow us to come across his property with some drainage from across Gale Drive. Some of the water, actually, if you look at where those guys are standing right behind the excavator, he actually had a drainage tile almost not too far from the corner of his house. And the water would flow in from behind the house down across his yard into that tile, which is, I don't understand why they did it that way, but it should have went on over to Gale Drive, which is where the bigger excavator is in the right-hand corner there. But this is that drainage tile that actually rotted out there beside his house, and we had to replace it. That's just looking in the opposite direction, looking south. So we basically laid about close to 600 feet of new tile. That's a brand new tile going across what you're seeing right here from Gale Drive. New collection boxes. We had about 3 of those that were formed up from our road department employees. Some of their craftsmanship there they're displaying. This is your finished product for the most part. Looking towards the north, you can see we got it cleaned up. It looks pretty neat across there. And when you look across Mr. Jones's here, that's where the tiles were rotted out, going back to the drainage ditch that is between 2 subdivisions. And we've got some grass growing, but that was about a 7-week project, and the cost there you can see at $73,741.24. Next project we had, this started 2 or 3 years ago, probably 3 years ago. We had some major rains, and it looked like we could have some washing out of close to our edge of our road, and so I put in for a request for this discretionary money for this project. It kind of got like a can, if you will, kicked down the road. But we eventually, I think Mr. Carl Lauren, they called him Squirrel, worked for the governor. And so on discretionary money, it's, I think most of you, if you don't realize, the legislators have some cash available to counties. And if you talk to them real nice and sweet, they'll give you some money at times, and we've been pretty fortunate to get some money. But I had another project, another road that was tied in with this, and I told him, I said, hey, you know, so it came back up probably about a year later, and I said, if we can't get the total amount, hey, if we can just get one road, that'll just put us that much further ahead. So in the meantime, we had another major rain, and it actually washed out to the edge of the road, and we had to go in and put an emergency seawall up, and so this is that wall, and so we had another spot on this road that was about 240 feet in length, and this is it. This is on the north side of the stream, and so we did a similar job on this one. Obviously, it took quite a bit more work and a lot more of those retainer blocks. I think we used about 180 of those retainer blocks. on this particular project, but it turned out nice. We saved the road. And actually, before we got this project done, we had a major rain to come through, and this is the water that flows down this stream here. It really gets a lot of strength when it comes up off of Upper Colesburg Road down that big hillside. And you've got all these streams that's flowing off the hills, and it really swells the stream. So. This actually came in at a really good time. Next project, this is something that your road department worked on. It was a bridge deck replacement on Middle Creek Road. You can see the contracted price, estimated price was about $180,000. We replaced the bridge deck and completed it for less than $116,000 using county employees. Some of the work that we had to do, we had to go in and remove some of the concrete that was on these abutments. Actually, I thought this was in 2 pours. We couldn't get any wider, so this is you're looking at what they call the throat of the bridge, and you can see the forms there. All that concrete that was on there previously was removed, and we had to form that back up. This was due to scouring on the bridge abutments, and that's kind of a finished product after removing the forms. There's your bridge deck. That's it being set. That's the deck itself after it was poured, and you see Jerry, he's finishing off there with his float, and that's a finished product. I think our road department employees done a really nice job on this particular bridge. It was about a 4 or 5 week project for us. The previous bridge I was showing you that was done by the contractors, we were 3.5, 4 months on it. So this bridge was out for maybe 5 weeks. One thing we started this past year was we started doing some chip sealing. We had 3 roads, just a little over 4 miles. Total cost, you can see that $144,000 cost per mile. For the chip seal, this is a double chip seal with a fog seal, is $35,543.12 a mile. 28 roads were resurfaced with asphalt, almost 33 miles worth at almost $2.5 million. Cost per mile was $76,049.26. Any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I think this is a great example of the talent that we have within the road department. I think we got 18 employees, 19.
Yes.
Which is down maybe 10 employees from the max that we've had. And to have that kind of talent and to be able to do those things at cost savings, like your road department, is very commendable, Dwight.
Yeah.
And we appreciate every one of you for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a whole lot. And we do have a great talent pool at this time. But they are getting older.
Dwight, I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me out to ride Saturday morning. I think it was a valuable experience that opened my eyes to part of Hardin County that I wasn't aware of.
Didn't know it was out there, did you?
As well as some of the challenges that our road crew, faces when they're out there plowing. I saw firsthand the various obstacles that they face, from cows in the middle of the road, deer in the middle of the road, parked cars that complicate the turning around of the larger trucks. The steep and narrow roads we navigated were quite a challenge. and I learned that Mark didn't even take me down some of the most difficult routes.
Yeah, I was disappointed in that too.
I'm sure you were.
Yeah.
It's clear that the crew, they face a lot of hurdles out there.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to discussing some of these experiences in our Public Work Committee meeting. I believe there's a lot to learn from the concerns raised by our citizens and the challenges your team faces on a daily basis. So, I'm hopeful we can work together to enhance the safety for the crews in our roads. So,
Well,
again,
thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. And I look forward to that as well. So I'm glad you took the time to do that.
Yeah, I want to thank Bruce for taking me out and riding me around. We did get slid off the road a little bit. You had to come bail us out.
When we were right out by Miss Odom over here.
I started to go see if she had breakfast ready.
Yeah, I don't think she would have been very happy that time of the morning. Yeah, I wouldn't have been either, Jenny.
But no, it was a good experience. Seeing him operate the truck, having to lock the wheels in the back and work the salt and the grader and everything. And I told him that he was a whole lot nicer than I would have been out there. He was very careful around cars. There was a car parked in the road. He would turn the grader the other way so it wouldn't splash up on the car. We had 3 cars parked in the end of a dead-end street. I said, where are you going to put that? He said, I'm just going to try to put it over here. And I said, well, I'd have just put it right behind either one of them, blocked them in. But he did a great job. I don't think he even knocked over one garbage can. He was very careful watching the garbage cans. He did a great job. We had some great conversation, and it was very insightful to hear from them some of the hardships that they face. Yeah,
and I'm sure they probably shared a little bit more with you than what they do with me at times, but, we do have some things that I believe we could probably work on and challenges, and I was a little disappointed that he didn't get you out on his far end of his route. I wasn't real happy when he told me that he didn't get you out there, so I was hoping you were going to get out to
Luckily, we ran out of
road.
salt, and he had to come back and get more.
So I think he kind of changed his route up just a little bit.
And we missed Brizendine Lane.
Yeah,
that was a good one. I was glad to miss.
Well, Long Hollow was the one I really was hoping he was going to get you on, but anyway.
Eastview must have had a lot of meetings back in the day, because every street's a meeting.
A meeting, yeah. That's right. Yes, so did he get you down close to the wooden bridge?
We went all the way down to it, and he maneuvered around. And also the route sheets, so just so people know, they've got it detailed down that you go down to the RV sitting down on the right side, you stop there, that's the end of county maintenance. Or that's, private property there. Yeah. So the route sheets were pretty neat to look at, to see how y'all knew where to, whether it's designated from an RV or an oak tree, or however y'all designated that. But it's pretty interesting.
Well, Michael, my assistant, and Nick Dowfett, they spent a lot of hours, a lot of days, several months, redoing the routes and making them more efficient. And it just kind of makes more sense. Normally we go to the furthest point and work our way back. And if we have somebody else that's working that area, we start them at the bottom of the sheet, and it's kind of like the song that Mike always likes to use the song where they meet in the middle. So that way, if we have some guys that get freed up on their particular area, we can send those people over, and we kind of know where they need to start at and go to. So there's a lot to it.
Mr. Morgan, I want to just express to you my appreciation for your leadership. Quality work comes from quality leadership. You have a plan, you communicate the plan, you train for it, it's effectively carried out, and our citizens reap the benefit. Sometimes we tend to immediately see the situation and think things are not getting done, but when we pay attention, there really is a science behind what you do, and there's a plan for it, and I thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, I watch the weather. This first storm that came in, we knew, you know, a week in advance that it was going to be bad. And we got closer. We had a county-wide meeting with all the departments that would be involved. And our weather gentleman from Radcliffe, George, I can't think of his last name, but he came, and one of his slides, it was showing how much ice that we were going to possibly get, anywhere from 3/10 to either a half inch or 3/4 of an inch. I can't remember exactly, but any ice in that amount is scary. But with the assets that you have, you know, our employees, for one. Secondly, the equipment that we've got, we struggled for many years with some trucks that were basically rust buckets, okay? And we've got basically all good equipment, and we can't afford to even lose a truck. And so I'm going to yield on the side of caution when it comes to that type of weather. So, you know, I can understand, you know, some people not understanding because they haven't been here and haven't seen some of the things that can happen. I've been out where we've totaled a dump truck since I've been here, but we've had multiple times where people have slid off the road. We had a little incident. We didn't have any damage, just very little damage. But we got into a guardrail this time. But we had multiple hang-ups where we had to assist other trucks. We didn't have to call a record except one time down in Glendale for one of our small trucks where we pulled the tow hooks off the front bumper. Absolutely just ripped them off. That storm was going to be a challenge, or could have been a challenge. So we didn't lose anybody. We didn't lose any trucks. When we had the second storm that come in, we actually had more trucks out on the road. We had a total of 14, and you know, to be able to get through 560 miles of county road in one day, that was awesome. My team really I just feel like they did an excellent job, and they put in the hours last week. I can tell you from a stretch from Saturday, from that storm till Saturday, the following Saturday, I had an extra 32 hours over my 40-hour week. So I almost put in 2 weeks in a week. So, and a lot of my guys did as well, because we had a lot of trees that were down on that first storm. My person that was on call, we went out on Sunday. He got called back in on Sunday. I think he got about an hour's worth of sleep that night before he had to come, or that event before he had to come back in. So, just a lot of things that goes on, and especially whenever you have that ice that moves in, it's really it really causes a lot more problems.
Well, Dwight, I just want to also express my appreciation to you and your team and Michael Stack. I reached out to him a couple of times, and he was very, very responsive and took care of some issues. So we just appreciate all that you all did. We know you have limited resources and very conservative budget, and we appreciate everything that you did there to bring us back to life during the storms.
Well, Michael, first storm, he's in the office. April didn't make in that day, so we didn't have anybody else to answer the phone. So he manned the phones and manned the radio whenever somebody would call in and have problems. I was out in the truck. So, but this last storm, I did ask April, she came in on Saturday to answer the phones, and Michael was able to get out and do some plowing of some areas. So with all of us out, it just, we were able to get that done, and we started 3 o'clock in the morning, and I left at 6:30 on Saturday evening, so, but I felt pretty good to get a day off on Sunday.
I bet.
Felt pretty good. I'm not rested up yet, though. But thank you for those kind words. And Judge, we appreciate your kind words to start out with, recognizing all the departments. It does take all of us, from EMS, the jail, and Joey's department there, Sheriff's Department. It takes all of us, and we've got a great county, and we've got a bunch of great employees. So we're very, very blessed.
You're welcome. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Dwight.
Thank you.
Okay, we have some written reports that are available to view on the website. Move on to any citizens' concerns, any comments anybody has. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on then. Next item is our consent agenda. We'll take a moment here and explain what all is in here. It's fairly typical things, but first two items, or the first item is the January claims up through the 14th, and December recurring claims, utility claims. Also, item D, which is Resolution 3, is related to the approval of financial transfers. Item B, which is Resolution 1 for the year 2025, and then Resolution number 2 is both related to personnel, road personnel, and EMS personnel. The next item is from in the EMS department, where we have already had approved Resolution 2024 number 275, and we are amending that today. This is related to the approval of Dr. Bell as EMS Medical Director, and it has a corrected salary in that amendment. Okay, next is Resolution 4, and this is related to approval for a Vertiv Corporation to provide standard maintenance for Pear Orchard Radio Tower battery backup. And so this is a contractor for communication for 911. Next one is Resolution number 5. This is related to the approval of an agreement with West Kentucky Correctional Healthcare for Hardin County Detention Center's medical services. So this is the detention center medical contract that we are approving today. The next item is Resolution 6, and this is related to the approval of CAECO's insurance grant for the coroner's office. The next one is a Resolution 008, and that's related to the approval of some E911 personnel. And then finally, as far as resolutions go, number 9 is related to the approval of solid waste personnel. And then the last item on here is the Emergency Service Committee meeting minutes from January 9th. So that covers all of the items in the consent agenda. We're going to do things a little bit differently today, and may continue this as we go forward. But I will, after reviewing these items, I'm going to open it up, and if anyone has, any of the magistrates want to remove any item, you can just call out that item number.
J.
Okay, J, which is the resolution 2025-009.
Correct.
Okay, and so that item, 2025, resolution 2025-009 is now removed from the consent agenda. Any others? So if there's no objections, the remaining items on the consent agenda are approved. Okay? By definition. So now we will address the one that has been removed. This is Resolution 2025-009 related to the approval of solid waste personnel. And I need a motion. It, in essence, has been voted on because if any of these others that anybody wanted to vote no on, you were welcome to pull it out of the consent agenda. Right, so nobody else did, so the rest of them are approved. Okay, so that's a bit of a change, just kind of speeding things up there a little bit. And then also providing opportunity to pull things out of the consent agenda if anyone desires to do that. Okay, are we okay? All right, so let's go ahead and look at the one that was requested to be removed. And again, that is Resolution 2025-009. And I need a motion and a second to approve this resolution.
So moved.
So moved. A second, please.
A second.
Okay, Patsy seconds it. Now we have our time of discussion.
I'll go first. My position has not changed since the first time that this issue came before the court. I'll be voting no on the resolution, and I'll state my reasons why. Personally, I think it's time that we stop kicking the can down the road. We need to address the issue now, once and for all. We all know that the Public Works Director's position is now a title only. The County Road Department is not under that supervision. The Engineering Department is no longer under that supervision. The landfill is leased to and operated by Republic Sanitation. And our recycle trailers are handled by platform, by contract. So a lot of the job duties under that title that still remains are no longer part of that person's responsibility. I think it's time that we do away with the Public Works position and reestablish the Solid Waste Director position and adjust the job description accordingly. For years, the structure worked without issues and without a coordinator included, and I see no reason why it cannot be done today. We tried the coordinator position a year ago. I think we all know how that ended up. We spent a year with a person supposedly getting up to speed on the position, and that person left. So now we're at square one again. I think that when retirements come, we need to advertise for an experienced solid waste director, not depend on the possibility of a coordinator assuming that role. I'm not voting today on the individual. I don't know this individual. I don't know this person's expertise. I know nothing about this individual. I am voting simply against establishing or filling this position as coordinator. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, anybody else?
I was against creating this position when we did. I didn't feel that it was necessary. That's part of the reason I voted no on the budget when we had that in June. And everything Fred just said, I agree with 100%. Things need to be revamped. We have had an engineer now for around 8 months, I believe, and the Public Works Director's job description has not been re-updated to do away with some of those things. I think it's still in there just for fluff to make it look like there's a lot for that job to be doing. I don't believe that this personnel solid waste coordinator is a valid position that we need right now.
Okay, anybody else? Okay. Just a few comments that I have before we vote. I find it interesting that we're talking about the Public Works Director whenever we're voting on a coordinator. You know, and I'm not sure about the comments about kicking the can down the road, but you know, there are several comments being made here that I believe are maybe some misunderstanding, or at least I'd say at best a lack of understanding of what goes on in this department and related departments. You know, I sincerely doubt that that anyone has spent hours and days, months in this department to know really what's going on. I've spent my share of time there for sure, and I believe I do know what's going on, and I believe this position is warranted. I'm not talking about the Public Works Director at all. I'm talking about the coordinator, the more of the person, that administrative person that would have a whole list of activities, which I have, in addition to the job description. I won't bore everybody by going down through all of these. But one of the things that, of course, we have right now is we don't have anyone in that position. So these job duties, they haven't gone away. They're currently being handled by of course, by the Public Works Director, by my administrative assistant. Others in engineering and code enforcement are all trying to share those things best that we can until we can get somebody into this position. There is currently no backup for grant application preparation and compliance tasks performed by the Public Works Director. No current administrative support for the solid waste and code enforcement or engineering offices. Solid Waste Department, I just want to remind everyone that the Solid Waste Department has a positive bottom line that partially funds the road department and the jail. They bring in over $2 million net that's used in this way. It's the only department that we have that actually brings in revenue. It brings in over $8 million in gross revenue. And so here we're saying, you know, we're going to expect the director basically to handle all of this, no matter if this director or anybody in that position would ever get sick or be out for a vacation. I think that most of us know by now that when people don't have their garbage or their trash picked up on the curbside, that they are not happy campers. And phone calls start rolling in quite quickly. And some of you magistrates that are in those districts that are serviced by platform, by our service provider, I think are pretty aware of, you know, that this is occurring. Some of the ones that have spoken against this, if I'm not mistaken, are in districts that cover cities that have their own garbage and trash curbside collection. It's probably not going to get a lot of phone calls. So I can understand why you might misinterpret or underestimate the importance of this department that has no administration right now servicing it. So I could go on, and you know, it bothers me that there is pushback on this. I mean, this is a budgeted position. We're going through the process here of what we do for all the budgeted positions whenever they are, when somebody leaves, we, you know, unless there's a big change and we don't have as many services, or something happens in the county, I don't know. Right now, we're in a growth type of situation, so I don't see our services decreasing any. So it bothers me that basically you guys don't believe me. And you don't believe others that are in charge of the day-to-day responsibility of providing these services to our citizens. So you've made this assessment in some way or fashion, and you know, that's your prerogative, and that's fine. But it does bother me that's happening, and so I know for me, I hope that this passes and that we can go ahead and fill this. We've got a great candidate that has gone through the process, and several people have interviewed him, and he's accepted the position, obviously contingent upon this vote. And I'm very excited about him getting started if we can get this passed. And this will ensure a continuous improvement of our services to our amazing Hardin County citizens that expect the services that we provide. We have a landfill out there that we probably need to be spending more time understanding what's going on. We've got a good vendor in Republic that does a good job out there, but they are a business, and there's always opportunity for some shortcuts that you know, to make money. And we need to have that accountability and not just trust them on everything that they do for anything that we contract out. We should be checking it. So there's a lot of responsibility, a lot more than I think that is what is realized. And so I'm going to push back on those comments. I think they're short-sighted. So I believe we need to go ahead and pursue it, and I hope we will vote and pass this resolution. So
Judge,
with
can
that,
I respond, please?
I'm sorry?
Can I respond?
I think we're ready to vote.
Can I respond, Judge?
No, I think you've had your say.
We just get one round. You call me out, so can I not respond?
You have something different to say than what you had before?
Yes, I certainly do.
Okay, then
Please
please proceed.
You mentioned what bothered you. It bothers me as a member of this court to have voted on a position for their public works director with the understanding of the job duties and the salary attached. And then you arbitrarily remove those duties without ever consulting any of us. And it continues to this day. You mentioned those of us that didn't bother to maybe understand what's going on. I spent 8 years as solid waste chairman of the committee. I spent time at that landfill up to my knees pulling vertical wells. I spent time out there learning the operation of the landfill when I had that responsibility. So I'm not one of those that didn't spend their time learning the situation. We were $450,000 upside down when it was run the other way. Now that we have at least, it's $2 million in the black. So there's reasons for good management. And I'm not talking about any individuals here. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm simply saying we need to restructure the Public Works Director position so that we can go back to a solid waste director so we can have truly representation of that department. And that's all I'm saying. So don't make it personal, or don't make it like I'm not investing my time and not making a decision based on good information, because I certainly have.
Yes. Well, you may have in the past, but things have changed since, since you were out there and part of that particular committee. They changed a lot. You haven't been a part of that committee since I've been in office.
Well, it's not a committee any longer.
Solid waste is not a committee anymore.
Well, I mean, it's Public Works. I mean,
that's just what he said.
includes. Okay.
That's what I'm trying to get across, Judge.
All right. So we're ready to vote? Yes.
Can I just say something, or maybe,
Sure.
maybe I'm out of wrong, but if this passes to satisfy some of the people that's against this, could we interview that person 6 months from now and see how things are going?
I can definitely provide a report in 6 months. So, yeah, I mean,
Well,
in
that
essence,
would answer that maybe would answer some of those questions that been brought up. Is this person really needed or not?
Right.
And if it is, and he does what I think he will do, I think the report would be good. But I think it maybe just will satisfy everybody if we can, in 6 months, see a report on how things are going.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so let's go ahead and have a roll call, please.
Squire Clem,
No.
Squire Hicks,
Yes.
Squire Muse,
Yes.
Squire Pennington,
Yes.
Squire Saltzman,
No.
Squire Thompson,
No.
Squire Whitehead,
Yes.
Squire Yates,
No.
Judge Executive Keith Tall.
Yes, motion passes. All right, so moving on, we will talk, I guess we'll just move on into comments. That's the next thing on the agenda. So any comments from the county attorney?
I do, Judge. I brought with me Tori Miller here today, if you'll wave, Tori. I just wanted to introduce Tori for those of you that may not know her. So she's accepted the position as office manager of the county attorney's office at my new administrative assistant. So Tori's been in the county attorney's office a little over 6 years. She's been the criminal division staff supervisor. So it's a change of duties for her. And then prior to that, she was at the Grayson County attorney's office. So I just want to make sure you all had a face to put with the name, because I know we do a lot of work by email. So just reach out to Tori if you need anything. She's very efficient, very positive, and I think you'll enjoy working with her. So thanks for coming today, Tori. That's all.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thanks for being here today. All right, any comments from the replacement county clerk? The one that actually makes it work over there.
No, thank you.
All right.
None today.
Very good. All right, we'll move on to magistrate's comments. Magistrate Yates.
I don't have anything, Judge.
All right. How about Magistrate Saltzman?
Yes, I would like to thank this court for their prayers and thoughtfulness in the tragedy that happened in our family, and I appreciate each and every one of you for that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Whitehead?
Yes, thank you. Welcome, Tori. We're really pleased to have you, and thanks for the service that you've provided in the past also. So you're not exactly a newcomer, so we appreciate your experience and service with us. Also, I want to congratulate Jimmy Carr on his retirement, although I'm not happy about it. I know that retirement can be bittersweet, but congratulations, and thank you so much for your years of service. We appreciate you in that respect. Thanks to all the first responders during this recent snow and ice storm. I know your job is hard. It's probably one of the most unpleasant jobs there is out there, but I truly appreciate everything that our first responders did, our road crews, everyone. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And just a reminder that the next Resources and Community Support Committee meeting is on a Wednesday. It's typically on a Monday, but it will be Wednesday, January 22nd at 3:30. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Clem.
Yes, Judge. The Finance Committee meeting will be Tuesday, January the 21st at 3:30 across the hall. And our next town hall forum will be Monday, January the 27th, it's a schedule change at 5:30 here in the courtroom. Timmy, going to miss you. And thank you for all your years of service. Known you for a long time. Appreciate you. And just want to remind folks not to drink and drive. Please don't text and drive.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Pennington.
No, I just wanted to say, Timmy, congratulations, and hopefully you enjoy your retirement.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Thompson.
Congratulations, and wish you the best in future endeavors. Enjoy as much as you can with life. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Muse.
I'd just like to thank the road department for the work they did in the county, especially in my district. We have several poor roads. And remind everyone the next Public Works Committee meeting is Thursday, January the 23rd at 3:30.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Hicks, you have anything to say?
No comment.
No comment. All right, thank you. Again, just a reminder, the next Fiscal Court meeting is Tuesday, January 28th at 5:30, right here. And a reminder, too, that we do have a holiday, that the offices will be closed, January 20th, Martin Luther King Jr. birthday celebration that particular day. So we'll be closed up that day. I believe that's all we have on the agenda. So is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion. Second. Any objections? Meeting adjourned.